Hello and welcome back. This is episode 57 of Sure Babe. In this episode, my husband Sam and I sit down and we sit with you guys in it. And you probably know what I mean when I say it. We are sitting down talking all about this unprecedented event in our lives, this pandemic, coronavirus, quarantine, and what life looks like right now as parents now homeschooling our kids and people working from home. And we really wanted to empathize with you guys in this episode and talk a little bit about how we're handling the chaos at home, how we're handling our own anxiety, and how we're moving this trauma out through our bodies and choosing to believe that good will come as a result. So hopefully this episode really reaches you where you're at. I did want to let you know, if you are working from home or you now currently are in a position and you don't know what the future looks like for your career. So the Find Your Voice e-course is available now through April 10th. You can join the program, and when you join the program, that means you get the course and you also get the free Facebook community with an additional 2 hours of live coaching with me and Megan, the photographer that joins me in this course. We really help you transform your business to an authentic brand that really reaches their customers where they're at or their ideal followers. So I really wanted to offer that to you guys right now and just help ease your anxiety about walking through this time where things seem a little unknown and we don't know how to move forward. We're really there for you guys throughout this course. If you're interested, please check the link in the description of this podcast, and it will take you to a page where you can find out more about this and what exactly you get when you join our Find Your Voice program. We're making it super affordable because we understand that these times are hard. So there's a payment plan. And if you're worried right now because you're homeschooling children and you have no clue how you're going to get everything done, this can be done at your own pace, and you can take as long as you need to finish the course. And the community is always there for you as well. So if we need community more than ever, it is now. So with that, we'll get into the episode with Sam and I talking about what it's like right now to be quarantined in your home with 3 kids. Probably sounds a lot like your home right now. All right, with that, I'm going to get into the episode. Hello, Sure Babe listeners. This is Chrissy and Sam. Hey, babe.
How's it going?
We are here. We're surviving, and we wanted to just get on and just be with you guys in whatever you're experiencing right now, because, you know, we're all in this together. The coronavirus outbreak and what is
2020.
Well, our kids say coronavirus. That's how they say it. And it's scary. It's a scary time. We wanted to hop on and talk about, our fears and how we're handling our new life with kids at home, homeschooling, working from home, building a house now a lot slower, and what we're doing to maintain sanity in our house, which is not every day at all.
No, we choose more sanity by the hour.
Sanity by the hour and survival. Like, that's really the key here is survival.
Yes.
Like, everything I feel like has been stripped away. And I get really philosophical when I think about this. Like, I really do believe that something beautiful will come out of this. Like, I know some people are affected by this, especially people in the medical industry that are working. I know people that have been affected by the coronavirus and, family members, and like, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the fear. We're going to talk about how to move through that fear and trauma. That's part of the work that I'm doing and getting trained in right now is releasing trauma from your body. So I really want to do kind of like a trauma 101, like first aid, like how to not get trauma stored in your body. And then just talk about how we're all surviving this together, and encourage you, hopefully, and maybe eliminate some anxiety. If you hear children in the background, that's because we have children in the background. Hey, buddy, can you go clean that up, please?
No, it's Gatorade.
Okay, sorry, we had to take a short little break because of a Gatorade spill in our garage. Okay, let's go into the fear. I didn't even know what the coronavirus was probably a few weeks ago, and shortly it has become something that has affected every single American's life. And now we're in this...
Global.
Or globally, yeah.
Globally. We're just the second wave.
We're the second
affected.
wave, yeah. But it's affected us in every area of our lives. Kids are home from school now. We are now homeschooling. We are now working from home. And things are canceled. Just, I can't even imagine if you had a wedding planned or if you're having a baby right now. Oh my gosh, if you're pregnant, like my heart just goes out to all those vulnerable people. And I mean, we're all vulnerable. I feel like that's the beauty in this, is that we are all collectively vulnerable and now having to protect one another. I know that some people would, argue with me on that they're not seeing that global community or that good in humanity. I think it just depends on where you look. You're going to see bad if you look for it, but you'll also find good. So, yeah, it's just been in a, matter of weeks that our life is completely changed. We're all home all the time together.
Yeah.
And we're getting on each other's nerves, and there's lots of fighting and bickering, sibling rivalry, but there has been some, for me at least, sweet moments of really being with my kids, painting, making brownies and things like that we normally wouldn't make time for because we'd be so busy with everything else. And that for me right now has been the plus side in it. But why don't you talk about some of your fears? Because I believe in a relationship, there's probably always one person that fears a little bit more or tends to worry more. I would say we're pretty even. Like, I tend to worry a lot on a daily basis, and Sam will bottle things up and then it will all come out. But I would say you've worried a lot more about the economic implications.
I think if you, in my experience, living through several recessions, it's like, for me as husband and father, and I'm looking like 6 months down the road, 12 months down the road, like, how does this affect my business? What is the trickle-down effect? What is the supply chain effect? And then also just the sheer economics of, like, okay, how is this going to shape everything I do? Mm-hmm. And it's really hard because it's not like we're in a time of war where like an enemy is there and you can see it or you can experience it, but it's like this is like an invisible enemy. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's a conspiracy. I definitely think it's a real thing that we're taking the necessary precautions to keep a good portion of our population healthy. Yeah. And because we live in California and it's like a lockdown state, it's like they shut down all the beaches today, which was one of our places we could kind of go to.
So, yeah, but I've noticed like an increase of my own anxiety when I do certain things. Like when I am on my phone too much, or I'm reading or listening to too many podcasts on the coronavirus, or looking at the news like first thing in the morning, my day is starting off on the wrong foot. And then my anxiety, like yesterday, was a lot more higher than it is today. And that's because of just a few posts that I saw on Instagram that were pretty like scary and negative, and I was like, affected by that. And I learned something. It's like our human nature, there is a threshold for information, but we go beyond that when it becomes like an addiction. And it's like we know enough to keep ourselves safe and healthy and aware, but we will go beyond that. So I've noticed that in myself when I'm like, okay, I know what I need to know now. I know the guidelines, but I'm still on my phone. I'm still Googling things. I'm still reading articles that I don't need to read. And that causes more anxiety in me. And I've noticed I need to have better boundaries around that in this time.
And I think I go back to, there was a really great Rob cast. Shout out to
Yeah.
Rob Bell.
Shout out to Rob Bell.
And it was something that this was a while ago. And what he talked about as a person, if you struggle with anxiety or depression or anything, you have to be aware of the information coming over the bow of your boat. So he goes, imagine all of the information on the internet, social media. You have to be careful what you're allowing coming over the bow of your boat, because if you let it all come over, it swamps your boat.
Yeah. My boat was swamped yesterday.
And that's okay, because I think it's okay to feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
If you ignore that feeling of like, oh my goodness, I don't even know what to do. If you ignore that, then you're storing that tension and that sadness in your body. I think it's all times, it's more important now to go, okay, I feel hopeless. I feel freaked out. If you can acknowledge those feelings, you can actually move through that way faster.
Yeah. And I think there is a place for that. Like you just said, feeling scared and not knowing the future, like any unknown that's where anxiety comes from. Like we're just, the unknown is scary. And now our foundations, our worlds have shifted completely. And so that makes it even more of an unknown. We don't know what the next 6 months will look like. We don't know now when we're going to be able to finish our house. We've been building this house and things are a lot slower now, and we don't know what we'll be able to afford. And that, for me, in the beginning, was a big sense of grief. And I continue to have to, like, go through that grieving process a little bit of, like, it's not going to look the way that I wanted it to, especially if something important for you got canceled. You have to grieve that. You have to say, this is so incredibly sad. And on top of that, I'm afraid of my mom and dad getting this coronavirus. And, you know.
With my parents, as anyone who has aging parents, my dad is an immune compromised human. He's over 65 and he has type 1 diabetes.
Yeah.
And it is a very real fear for me. Like, oh, cool. You're doing what? You're going out? You're
going to the grocery store?
You're going to the grocery store?
How dare you?
Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
We've both had to get on our parents' cases and, like, call them. I call my parents every day and I tell them, are you staying inside? What are you doing? And so, yeah, anyways, it has been that kind of fear. And hold on one sec. Okay, we're back. We literally have had to move like 2 times because our children keep finding us. Oh, okay. Anyways, the fear is real, and we want to validate you in that. And so, if you're in that grieving process, allow yourself to grieve. Can I talk a little bit about that? What I'm learning with trauma, though.
Well, I was gonna say, I think, what you're learning, especially the experiences that you're going to be helping people with.
Yes.
I think it's super important.
Very important. I'm learning about trauma release right now, specifically how trauma is stored in the body. And I'm like, wow, what a perfect time to utilize what I've been learning and help other people. So I'm learning nonlinear movement, which is just one type of somatic therapy that helps release trauma from the body. But it's a beautiful therapy that people can do at home. But specifically, I want to go back and talk about immobilization, which is what the body does when it is in a fear/stress response. So when I would vouch to say, like, the large community as a whole is probably feeling this immobilization. We are stuck. We don't know.
It's fight or flight 24/7
fight or
now.
flight. And if, so what happens in the body when we have an excess surge of this type of energy, fight or flight energy, if we don't release it, it gets stored in your body. And that's what causes PTSD and other
panic attacks.
And I this work for me came from a place of experiencing that and really diving into my own personal journey and realizing, like, why did I have trauma stuck in my body and why I was having panic attacks, like, way too often, that really robbed me of the life I wanted to live. So then I started on this journey. So right now we are in this immobilization, where our bodies, it's like if you think about the gazelle that's running from the tiger, and the tiger, makes it falter or like gets it, gets it down, and you see it, you can see this on like the National Geographic station or whatever, and the gazelle freezes. So what's happening in the gazelle's body is that it is immobilized. It's like when you put your foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. And all of that energy is surging through your body, even though you can't move. That's immobilization. You have to then move that energy out of your body after the attack, after the stressor, so that you don't continue to harbor it in your body. And a lot of times that's how animals actually get away. And so if you notice, like the gazelle goes back to grazing after it almost is attacked by a tiger. It's insane how God created animals in our bodies, because they can go back and not live in fear of like that attack, because what they do is they shake it off. And so that's the next thing that animals do, is they will literally shake. And that's the process that they go through to release this energy, this anxiety from their bodies. Yep. If they weren't, of course, eaten. But anyways, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So what I want to talk to you about is how we're handling the stress and helping our children actually move the stress out of their bodies. I like to do nonlinear movement, which for you could just look like it's getting on a yoga mat on all fours, moving what you're feeling to music without words. It's pretty simple. So I do that. I try to do that in the mornings. I know a lot of people are doing like the Wim Hof method, breathing techniques. You can download the breathwork app. Sam loves that.
I love that one. And the Steady State app.
Yeah. What is it?
Steady State.
Steady State. Okay.
And the key thing is, I think we've lived in a place of avoidance with our emotions as a culture for so long, mm-hmm. that this is the first time we can all kind of acknowledge we're all freaked out.
Yeah.
It's not like the top of the heap is like, I got it together. Even the top of the heap's like, gee whiz, I don't know what to do. And I think what this, and I was watching, one of my favorite photographers posted a clip of the governor of New York. And he said something really poignant, and it was today. And he said, this is going to be a long day. He goes, this experience is a long day. Mm. He goes, but at the end of this, love wins. Wow. And loving other people, we love all people. Yeah. Race, creed, color, you name it, we love them all. And we're all in this really long day together. Mm-hmm. But our love for each other, this will help us win through this experience.
And I've seen that too, even around our neighborhood when I go for walks. Like, people are giving away their produce that they've grown in their gardens and giving away their plants and just trying to be loving and waving more. And, it's scary. We keep our 6 feet distance. But I think you're right. Love is going to win at the end of this. And it's only going to end because of love. If we love even the immune compromised, like, I know there's like our country is divided right now between people that are taking this seriously and staying home and stopping the spread, and then there's a more younger generation that's like, it doesn't affect me, if I get it I'll be fine. I just wanted to say to that generation, go look at Colton Underwood's post. I just told Sam yesterday, oh my gosh, Colton Underwood, The Bachelor, has coronavirus and he's talking about it. It's not funny.
I know.
Oh my gosh, babe. I'm
not
worried about Colton. he has it and he's sharing about it and he's like, you don't want this. And so, oh gosh, if you're afraid of getting it, don't watch that because it'll make you more scared. But if you're young and you're thinking you're immune to this, go watch it because you're going to see he's 28 years old and he's suffering from this and you don't want it. So we all need to stay home and stop the spread of this because you might have it and not know it. And that's one of the most dangerous things about this virus.
The one thing is that no one's immune to the fear. Yeah. No one is immune to this fear, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Except that we don't, accept the facts that you don't know. Like, it's okay to be afraid.
Yeah.
And
what are you doing to release some of that fear and anxiety? I do nonlinear. I try to journal, but my children are always on me, and so I don't get to journal anymore. But if I could do nonlinear and movement, we've done some family dance parties at night that have really switched the mood. That's really good for us.
Listen to a lot of music, especially music that I'd say that I've been listening to my guilty pleasure music.
Okay.
Like,
give me an example of guilty pleasure music.
Oh gosh, a little Kelly Clarkson. Serious.
I love it.
Serious. Golly, I was listening to The Cure the other day, and I was like, dude, I haven't listened to Cure albums for ever. That's awesome. Listening to, I don't know, all the music that you never want to admit, I listened to that,
you're at home and nothing else matters, so why not?
So it's I'm just listening to
listen to Kelly Clarkson. Ooh, Kelly Clarkson. That's what I always think about.
Some of her albums are insanely good.
They are.
And I don't know.
Also, if you need a laugh, check my Instagram.
Oh, gosh.
I need to repost it because I kind of buried it with a photo of myself, which I should not have done. But it is an amazing video of Sam on our children's yard bird outside swinging to Miley Cyrus Wrecking Ball.
Yeah,
it's so good, you guys. It's just a gem. It's just it should go viral.
I'm a very good sport.
He is. Well, you were doing it, and you're so good at it, and you were just feeling it, and that was day one of our quarantine, and now we're on day I don't even know, but
the other we've been working out on the
we've been working out together and separately.
Love my air assault bike. That thing kicks my butt every day.
Let's talk a little bit to the parents right now because I feel like some parent might need to hear this.
Okay.
I feel like we have to lower the bar.
Oh yeah.
We have to lower.
No, there's no bar.
There's no more bar.
There's no bar. There's no bar.
There's just love and survival. And if your kid doesn't get through all their homework that day, or their,
it's fine.
They're
going to be doing homework for the next 14 years.
I feel like every kid next year is going to be in the same boat, because they were out of school, and who knows how good they were at homeschool. So I'm not as worried about that. But our kids were just struggling with no more snacks and eating all the food. And we're okay, well, if they eat it all, then they're going to learn how to survive off rice and beans. And this might be a good learning lesson for them.
I think what's really good is this will just be it's a great time to reevaluate what really matters.
Yeah.
A resetting of what you thought was going to make you happy. Now it's
totally.
It's our kids, they don't understand why we can't go to Legoland now. And they're like, well, we want to go get a sandwich from,
That's mainly just our 4-year-old. Our 8-year-old has handled this he's really well.
So much better because he's gotten probably more screen time.
That's true. We have increased the screen time, and I am not ashamed to admit that.
No, and hey, for everyone that's got color-coded charts and
we got those color-coded charts. We just don't always.
We just don't
abide by them. Sometimes we are whatever.
And for us, I feel like we just are taking it literally hour by hour.
Hour by hour. Yep.
That's it. There's I don't even have my alarm set anymore because I'm like, we're going to wake up. And when I wake up, I don't even pre-program my coffee anymore. I'm like, that's how it's like, okay, we're just going to get up and we're going to get from, 7 a.m. till 8 a.m. And then from 8 to 9. And what that looks like every day is so different. And I think it's okay to just go, all right. I mean, do I want our kids to eat all the snacks in one day? No, because I'm like, guys, going to the grocery store is really hard now.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't understand that yet.
No. And so I'm like, we just take it as it comes and, just trying to survive.
Yeah. I also think it's good sometimes, like on the flip side, to create little routines. Like we're starting school at the same time every day. We're having our
and you have to get dressed out of your PJs.
Kids get dressed out of their PJs, and I don't always get dressed out of my workout clothes, but there are days where I'm like, I really want to feel like a human again, so I get ready and do my hair, and that actually makes me feel better. But yeah, let's go into what it means for our businesses, because I know a lot of parents are right now working from home, and that's really frustrating when you're also in charge of, your kids' education now. So what does that look like for us? What does that look like? How are we managing that?
Well, because we were building our house, I kind of already had planned to stay at home to manage our project.
Yeah, that was kind of
so
serendipitous that you were building our house, but
it's just a lot harder. It's a lot harder.
We take turns. Like I told you yesterday that I needed 2 hours to work in the morning from this time to this time, and then you started the homeschool process, and then I jumped in after. But we're just asking each other for like pockets of time, and then.
And I think what's hard is too when you have to really have grace for your partner and patience, because this is far different. It's a far harder experience. And I can tell you, I probably haven't been the best at that. I have not always been the most gracious with your time or
the children.
And I admit it.
Yeah. Good man. It's okay. We're all in it together, and we're learning how to love each other better through this. That's for sure. But yeah, it's been hard. It's been hard to work from home and to also like not jump into the future too much of what is my industry going to look like, or what is my job security. For me, I'm an entrepreneur, so I make money through creating content and doing online therapy and online coaching, and my course, which actually is available tomorrow. We decided to move the launch date forward because, and this was a hard decision. I talked to my business partners about this, and we talked about being sensitive to this time, because I of course never want to come across like I'm taking advantage of anybody. So I said, we should probably not launch. And then we came to the conclusion that the course that I created, which literally is a course that helps people decrease their anxiety, hone in on their passion, and bring that online, bring their businesses online to profit from it. And I felt like now is the time more than ever that people need it. Plus we have a community where we do live coaching in it. And that's even, more invaluable to, have that one-on-one accountability and like that coaching. And so we're going to increase the amount of online coaching that we do for free within the community. So that was a hard choice, I feel like, for me. And we talked about that a little bit of like, how do we make business decisions going forward? Like what are we going to spend our money on, and what's okay to do? And I don't know. What were your thoughts on that? Like, in terms of me going ahead to launch? Because I know at first you were like, no, I wouldn't. And then
I think it's actually a good time. It really is, because I think that the course really speaks to it speaks to people and what they're kind of going through, and it helps address, it helps address those fears and those worries and anxiety and the things.
Like what is it going to look like if I take this business online, or
if
I.
And I think it goes back to what we're seeing now is that a lot of doing business now, it shows us how that the pipeline is just not efficient. So now we're just getting to a more efficient place of like business to business, person to person, and taking away a lot of things that, now it's like, hey, we don't need a meeting, we just need the email.
Yeah.
It's like
we do that on Zoom.
We do that on Zoom and like the, stuff like that.
Which is a lot more efficient.
Which is a lot more efficient. It's harder to kind of navigate at first.
Yeah, at first.
Because it's like you can't have your kids coming into the meeting. Mm-hmm. I always go back to that
CNN.
The CNN
reporter.
Correspondent.
I love that video. That has like resurfaced at the point.
And I think of that every time. And so.
Yeah. So yeah, I just feel like it was the perfect time. It is the perfect time to launch. And so I'm happy to be able to offer that to you guys right now if that's that support that you're looking for in taking your business online, and just getting that one-on-one help that you need is available in our Facebook community. So follow me over on Instagram. I'll be sharing more, or join my newsletter, email list, and you'll get information on that. We'll also have a more doable payment plan that's like longer, so that it's actually cheaper each month. So since we're saving money on, not getting our nails done, hair done, coffee,
not driving anywhere,
eating out all the time, driving, gas, like I feel like now is the time to go inward and really work on yourself and your business. Like I'm choosing to like really work on what does the future of my business look like, instead of like, it's all going away and it's going to shut down and I can't, keep going forward. I'm like, no. We even talked about it this morning, how you woke me up this morning and you said, God's got this. Yeah. And then you said something else that really impacted me. What did you say? Clearly I remember it.
Clearly.
No, you said, not that this was a test, or maybe I said it. And
no, I think I said something along the lines of like, the way that we weather this storm is how we're going to end up going forward.
Yes. And I was like, yeah, finally he's getting on board with the positive thinking. No, I really, because I've been thinking that, yes, this is a test, and that this is how we get through this is a very much direct correlation to how our future will be. Yep. Because everybody's being tested right now. And when you pass tests like this is a rock bottom for everybody. But rock bottoms aren't bad, because what you do from them and what you gain and learn from them makes all the difference for your family, your own personal health and journey, and your business. So. And
I go to it. Ray Dalio, if you guys don't know who Ray Dalio is, he was probably the single-handedly one of the most successful Wall Street managers of all time. He wrote a great book called Principles. Mm-hmm. Fantastic read. And they asked him if he remembered his successes, and he goes, no, but I remember every one of my failures.
Yeah.
Because it's the only way that you learn.
Totally.
You do not learn from winning all the time, because you only learn from the mistakes
and the hardships.
Yeah. He goes, I lost everything he lost everything at one time, and literally was just working at his kitchen table. Wow. And he went on to become one of the most successful managers in Wall Street. But everything that he said, he goes, I never learned from my successes. You never learn from your success. You only learn from failures.
So basically, we're going to get through this. We're going to be stronger.
Yeah.
We're going to get our house done.
Yep.
We're going to survive our children in homeschool.
I hope so.
And our businesses are going to thrive. Okay,
Yes.
guys? So take it.
And I have seasonal allergies, so if you hear a cough...
I keep, like, eye daggering him. Like,
I'm sorry, I have seasonal allergies.
Seasonal allergies. Oh, my gosh.
It's the worst.
If you guys need any support, DM me on Instagram. We're trying to get to as many as we can. And email us. We'd love to, help support you out and support in any way.
Rate and review the show too in iTunes.
If you
it
like
helps
what
us
you
get
hear.
traction.
Thank you for reminding me that. Rate and review. I can't talk. Rate and review us on iTunes or wherever you listen to, and leave us a positive review. We would love that. Share it with someone who is lonely right now and feels scared about the future. And just be a support for one another and stay home. All right. Thanks for being with us, you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Tell me, what is the coronavirus?
The coronavirus is a virus that spreads around, and it affects people, and they get very sick.
Yeah. Is that why we have to stay home?
Yes.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I feel kind of sad because I want to see my cousin, my friends, and I want to go to my aunt's house and my brother's house.
And we can't right now.
Yeah.
It's been hard. How have you been dealing with that sadness? What do you do that makes you feel better?
I usually like to play downstairs, but usually sometimes I go play Legos.
How do you like homeschool?
Homeschool, not that very much.
Why?
I don't know why.
Do you miss school?
I miss my regular school and see all my classmates.
I do too. What is happening on Friday?
On Friday, it's my birthday, and we're gonna have to just stay home.
But we're gonna do some fun things, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna go to a drive-thru and get Taco Bell. That's what you like?
dinner, and then McDonald's for lunch.
Okay, so we're doing McDonald's drive-thru for lunch and Taco Bell for dinner. Well, if that's what the birthday boy wants, you get it. What would you say to any kids right now that are sad because they can't do what they want to do?
I feel bad for them. Very bad for them.
Because you are in the same boat.
Probably some of those friends, like my friend named Oren and Abel, they're probably sad right now that they can't go to any of these friends' houses.
Yeah, and so what would you say to them to make them feel better?
I would just say, "What's up, guys?" I will cheer them up with good words to tell them about.
Should we make them cards or should we do a Zoom call with them? FaceTime them?
I don't know.
Does that make you feel happier when you get to see them on the phone?
Yeah, but usually in real life more than
I
the phone.
know. So I bet after this, when we get to see our friends, it's going to be even better, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What do you want to say to anybody listening?
Bye!
That was Waylon Powers, 8 years old.